Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. News Talk KFYO. We continue to visit with candidates throughout the area, throughout the state, who are running for office. And joining us on the phones right now, a Republican candidate for the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals, Place 3, Gina Parker, joining us here on the Chad Hasty Show. Gina Parker, good morning. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you today? And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking some time to talk to the audience today. Tell folks a little bit about yourself and tell them a little bit about this race as well and what exactly the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals Place 3 is.
Okay. Well, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals is the supreme criminal court in Texas. We have a bifurcated system. So we have the Texas Supreme Court that it's the final place for hearing civil cases that are appealed, and then the final court for hearing criminal cases, and an equal court is the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. It's the highest criminal court in Texas, and it's a statewide race that I'm running for. A lot of people ask if they can vote for me, and yes, you can, as long as you live in Texas.
There you go. And you're running for Texas Court of Criminal Appeals Place 3. Tell folks a little bit about your resume.
Sure. I have a background as a city attorney, also served as an assistant county attorney, assistant district attorney, and then in 1991, I started my own law practice, and I've been practicing criminal defense work now ever since. So I've been an attorney doing criminal defense work for 33 years. So a long history of practicing law and handling complex criminal cases, felony cases, and have the right experience to be a judge on this court.
Well, and I thought one of the another interesting part of your resume was that you've been a lecturer on constitutional law for more than 30 years now. Talk about that and how that would apply towards the Criminal Court of Appeals.
Well, I've always had an interest in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and obviously when we look at the Bill of Rights, the issues of our rights as citizens, our right to be free from unreasonable search and seizures, the right to due process, all of these are issues that would come before this court in various ways. And so I started out being very involved along this line. I served as Phyllis Schlafly's National Judicial Reform Chairperson. And basically at the heart of that is we do not want activist judges. We want judges that are going to uphold the rule of law and never legislate from the bench. And that's something that is really important. It's something I'm passionate about. And so I've been engaged in writing articles on stopping judicial activism, the separation of powers, speaking on these topics, and traveling throughout Texas and even outside of Texas. So and I think it gives me a really good foundation for staying true to our Constitution.
Gina, let me ask you, when we have judicial candidates on, I always ask this question, because judicial races are always they're always interesting because there's a lot of the philosophy that is the same, at least among the Republican and those who are running on the Republican side. It really does come down to resume, doesn't it? I mean, for those who are looking at this race and they're going to be casting a vote, what do you think they need to look at between all the candidates when making that decision?
What I'm finding on the road as I'm campaigning is people are more concerned about whether you have core conservative values. They're concerned about whether you're going to uphold the rule of law. That is the main issue on the campaign trail. And I think that's where that I stand out over my opponent, is that I have that history of lecturing. I have that history of really having a depth of understanding of the constitutional issues. And so that's what voters, at least Republican grassroots voters, seem to be primarily interested in. And I think that's why I've gotten so many endorsements. I've gotten the Texas Right to Life endorsement, the Life Pack endorsement, Texans for Courageous Court's endorsement, former Governor Rick Perry's endorsement. All of these people who are Republican leaders and key grassroots organizations have endorsed me. And I think that's because they see that my core principles are to uphold the Constitution and never legislate from the bench.
Very nice. Gina, tell folks how they can find out more about you and your campaign.
They can go to www.ginaforjudge.com and find out about my history, my work history, the endorsements. They can also find out how to donate and support me. So there's a lot of information there at ginaforjudge.com.
Very good. Gina Parker, candidate for Texas Criminal Court of Appeals Place 3 here on the Chad Hasty Show. Appreciate your time, and when you're out in this area next time, let us know. We'll be happy to have you here in studio.
Sure. That sounds great, Chad. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. That's Gina Parker here on the Chad Hasty Show. News Talk, KFYO.